welcome back to Play and Talk, episode 35, for real this time. I swear, because it's for real, and we're knee-deep in the coronavirus shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Norman, this is Shadowhawk.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well, staying safe, and
Healthy.
all the business that everyone says.
And the borders will be closed for 60 days. This can't end well.
Or if you're me in Florida, the borders will be open probably by the end of the month.
How do you know that?
Because that's what DeSantis ended up saying. I think it was like last week.
For all the bad things I've heard about him, somehow it makes sense. Stop clock.
Trust me, our governor, pretty much our politicians here are just freaking I wouldn't say we're the worst people. I mean, Georgia's has way worse ones, some way worse ones right now.
Yeah.
But it's kind of just they're just really huge, just terrible people, honestly. And so all I can just do is hope that by the next election, just voting their asses out.
Yeah. Oh, and you mentioned before the stream that you want to talk to me about something.
Oh yeah, so what happened was some context. So Jamie Marchi, who's one of the voice actresses who came out against Vic Mignogna when that ball started rolling, it feels like a whole long time ago, when that was actually only just a few months ago from that. So yeah, so what happened was that when she ended up making when she was posting a tweet, though, which was Dr. Oz saying, basically, something along the lines, you probably have seen this on Twitter, that's some kids dying would be a tragedy, but it would be worth it, something to that effect. Not word for word, but I'm pretty sure you've seen it to know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And so, pointing that out, though, because also, since a lot of gun people were also on that, and making a kind of dark joke, though, for it, but honestly, I just thought it was whatever. And so, to nobody's surprise, a whole bunch of I Stand With Vic assholes started jumping into it.
These people again, seriously, they're just as bad as those protesters complaining about the stay-at-home order in Michigan.
And those guys, I at least can sympathize with what it is that they're over, because there's a lot of anxiety. They're losing their jobs. We're now seeing way worse numbers now than we were seeing during the Great Recession 12 years ago. It's just how they're going about it is super fucking stupid, but beside the point.
Yeah.
Where they were jumping in on that. And so she was being very cheeky about it, though, like when they were trying to mention Vic Mignogna, either showing his initials or saying his name. She's like, oh, I don't know who she is. And so when one of them was bringing up, obviously, Broly with it, though, and she brought up the guy whose name I don't quite remember, but she's like, this person's always been Broly. I don't know who you're talking about. And so one of them was trying to be like, oh, because he was so innocent, though, and you threw him under the bus, when I'm like, dude, you do know that this person isn't really signified to anyone.
Oh shit, I'm down.
He was an open secret for it, but I threw in something because I actually posted, which was DC Douglas, whose post I end up bookmarking just for future use on the topic.
Yep.
Where what happened was that he on a stream that he did on a show called Unlocked, or at least on a streaming service called Unlocked, where he ended up trying to say that a whole bunch of voice actors, those being Christopher Sabat, Jamie Marchi, Montreal, DC Douglas, and he mentioned several others, not by name, but just said that there were others as well, where he was trying to make the claim that everyone was trying to be friends with him to go and benefit from them, when I was already made me laugh when he threw Sabat's name in there, and I'm like, dude, Christopher Sabat is probably the biggest English dub voice actor at least ever, as far as what we're talking at this moment in time. Like, the fact that you think that he would actually befriend you as trying to be to benefit from you when you are so lower in status from him. If he can be delusional that let's be honest, only one show that he's actually largely known for.
You talking about Z?
No, it was actually Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the other guy.
No, Vic Mignogna, because I'm saying Vic Mignogna was trying to claim Sabat was trying to be friends with him in order to benefit from it. I'm like, dude, Sabat has so many big works under his name. One Piece, Dragon Ball, currently with My Hero Academia, and tons of other big shows that are out there as well. You are nothing on his level, though, and the fact that you think that Sabat would benefit you And I was saying that that's a good glimpse into his mind of how he thinks of himself around people. And I also heard that when I was working at a convention, when I was working at MegaCon, my local convention 2 years ago, where one of them brought up Vic Mignon, and I was like, oh, how was he? And he said the guy seemed very full of himself, kind of seeming he was very arrogant and thinking he was all this, though. And so it ended up showing to me, though, that the guy, I mean, 'cause if he's, since at least I have no reason to disbelieve it, is ending up being as full of himself, though, as apparently people who have actually met him claim to be, then it's like, if that's the case, then that makes it even further more likely that the women who spoke out, though, are even more in the right, because if he thinks he's this huge big shot and he clearly is letting to his head, it makes Huh?
Yeah, now that you mentioned that, the only, Vic Manana, whatever, fuck it, because fuck him. Yeah, just... Only thing I heard about was from Vic was throughout Edward Elric has in for Alchemist, Broly in
Dragon Ball, obviously.
Yeah, and well, some minor roles in some other anime like that Mass Effect 1.
Well, it was saying that was what it was on there for, and it just struck me as super funny because he was trying to call me a bootlicker on this.
Wait,
I'm like, dude,
Vic called you a bootlicker?
Not Vic. It was what if the Vic Mignon stands, the people who are like the I stand with Vic people, who was trying to call me a bootlicker on that, which struck me as like basically the pot calling the kettle black. In that though, because it's like, dude, you're being super defensive on Vic, saying that he was totally innocent, and yet so innocent that his lawyers, who were trying to not only prevent him from the lawsuits he was already going to see from Rial and Marchi, but was also trying to launch a countersuit against Funimation, Monica and Marchi, where he ended up losing it and now actually has to pay all their legal fees and Funimation's, which in total costs about $255,000 from what I read up on.
Oh my god!
We're inside the next
Wow!
So like, it's like, yeah, he was so innocent that the courts, though, the things that you say would be the final word as to his innocence or guiltiness, and yet he ended up losing, like, the entire court case. And his appeals, though, which even though he has filed for them, the court is believed to not likely take up on it.
Wow, just wow.
So I was saying from all that where it came across me as so funny, because I was thinking of DC Douglas's on his personal blog who mentioned with it, and it sounded pretty much like what most likely everyone else's was, where his reaction was, no dude, I was not friends with you, nor did I try to. We met up at some conventions because we happened to also be at the same places. You tried to strike a conversation with me. I ribbed on you once because you weren't following other voice actors, and he's like, that's the end of our conversation. That's not friendship.
Yeah.
So that's why he was throwing in there. So I'm like, yeah, that kind of seems like that's what I've also heard of everyone else, though. And being very startlingly how no one has came to his defense. And since people started also being more open about it, it was becoming more and more clear that Vic was only being brought in because his name did, at least after Full Metal Alchemist anyway, was bringing in a lot of money, though, because actors do bring a lot of value to their stuff.
Yep.
When Christopher Sabat goes to a new anime, you can bet his name's going to bring a lot of his fan base along with it. Although, again, since now with the more recent stuff that was happening, though, with the Me Too movement...
Oh, shit, him too?
That, huh?
Are you talking about
Sabat's innocent on this. I'm saying, like, the series of events as I was explaining it. Like,
sorry,
so far, Sabat seems...
sorry, I misinterpreted what he said. I'm sorry. Continue.
Oh, no, you're good. Because conversely, though, with Sabat, though, he actually is nothing but really liked by his other voice actors, though. I mean, any interviews I've seen, even where he still frequently collabs with other voice actors from shows that he's been on, and he's just consistently regarded as a really good dude. If he was a very shitty person, I would have read by now, because, again, even before the Kick Vic stuff, I still remember hearing more of just whispers, because, again, a lot of people were trying to be quiet because he was still very influential, was still hearing things of, yeah, guy's very full of himself, isn't very all that, isn't exactly, I think the term is, he's not very warm and all that. So at least, though, it's good to see that at least he, and I see generally most other voice actors under Funimation, are kept good on it. But I was saying, like, for him trying to actually say that I was being the bootlicker here, when at least going off all the evidence that I could see, there was nothing attesting to his innocence, though. And especially if you fail a counter defamation suit, pretty much tells me what I need to know.
My Travis is has been open like the past a couple minutes. Just like, Oh boy, more stupids from these assholes, huh?
That's why I'm saying they like never cease to stop making me laugh on this. When I'm like, dude, what do you defend him so hard for? The only thing you guys have though is just that he did some voices on a show that you liked from that, and
Alchemist
that's
and
really
Dragon Ball
about
Z.
it.
That's it.
I mean, honestly, even though I think he did fine as Broly, I can think the other voice actor will probably do better because as a lot of people pointed, Vic Mignogna can't scream for shit. Like, I apparently learned that even in the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, his scream had to actually be looped several times just to actually even make it to more than like a few seconds.
Oh
Whereas
god!
conversely,
Oh god!
whereas
I
you
just
never-
remembered that Vic Mignogna is in a Star Trek fan film as Captain Kirk.
I actually do. I heard he was in something of that nature, which surprised me because, at least from what I understand in Funimation contracts, oh, actually no, that wouldn't count though because it's not an official property by them. So actually, yeah, I could see that. It just surprised me on there though, but I'm pretty sure the people there are probably regretting it now. That's probably the thing I feel.
Oh,
is the biggest bullet,
I also remembered.
the biggest
I
bullet
also
dodged.
remembered Nuka Break. Fallout Nuka Break. He was in the first season of he was in Fallout Nuka Break as the mysterious stranger and a few other minor roles, including the narrator. And
I do remember Nuka Break. I didn't watch it, but I was aware of it by reputation, especially when it was in that drought where there was nothing Fallout related coming out though, and the biggest thing was the Shoddy Cast Fallout lore series.
Yeah, and I remember how bad it went after the Storyteller series is pretty much over.
Yeah, but back what I was saying with Vic on the subject, so I was saying is how that whole interaction though was bringing with it though, and it's just that it always reminds me of things, and especially when they were trying to say about, oh man, how we lost out a great voice for Broly, and when it's like, as other people point out, like you seem to be defending him more so because you value his talents and not because of who he is as a person. And it always reminds me to this thing that's, I'm not going to be these people who's like, oh my god, Vic is such a bad actor. No, I think he's a great actor. It's just his talents aren't worth it when the people he's around causes misery. Or when he causes the people he's around misery. Again, it's like that whole thing with the genius asshole. They're never worth it, even though they'll love to tell you that they are. If they were so capable of doing everything themselves, trust me, they have no business being with teams then.
Crap. Oh crap. I had to catch up with the train. Happens before, and yeah.
No, you're good. It's just that thing with it, though, where, like, yes, I do think that Vic is definitely a great actor, though. I'm not going to go and say that he isn't, though. I still think that even still as Edward Elric, he still gave some great performances that I'll still end up loving, though.
Yeah, it's just going to be really hard to watch after all that bullshit. You know what I mean?
And it's just that, of course, though, I understand that. And yeah, I can understand that. I kind of have the same feeling whenever I try to watch Aquaman, because especially seeing more evidence that Amber Heard was actually lying about Johnny Depp's abuse is making it hard to watch with scenes that she's in.
Oh, shit. Ooh.
Especially when there was some leaked audio between an argument.
Oh, yeah, I've heard, and...
And it's like, yeah, it makes those parts hard to watch, which sucks because I really loved the Aquaman movie. And it's just that with that knowledge, I get what you mean when it's like an actor who is still very talented. I do think Heard is definitely really good as an actress, but it's like that thing of where knowing that they were in some really bad shit. I don't mean like stuff that's more of hearsay or something that was petty, but something as serious as in the case of Vic Mignogna shit, very bad sexual abuse stuff, which based on everything that people have said, I have no reason to not believe them. And since I'm being given more inclination to believe that Heard was lying about her abuse under Depp, which seems like it had no basis in reality, is making it very hard.
Yeah, and it just makes the other victims who try to speak out even harder.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there are other cases like that, like other cases like what she pulled off.
Yeah. So that's what I'm only from these though. When, like, I just always want to say that when it comes to it, I can sympathize when people end up wanting to believe that an actor who was in something that it was really good, though, or especially in the case of Heard, where they were regularly championing causes, though, like helping out people who were in war-torn areas and such, where you want to believe that they are actually good people and that they would not totally not be capable of doing these wrong things. But it's always a case of, keep in mind, guys, don't let the fact that they were in some movies or shows or whatever that you liked make you all of a sudden believe that these people are totally incapable of doing bad things. Trust me, even for me, that's super hard for it. That's why now, though, more than ever, I often try to see any musings, though, as to like, hey, what are these people's reputations in their own stuff, though? Because in this day and age, if someone's a particularly bad person, you can basically know about it. Like, it's not exactly a secret that Christian Bale is someone who is not the greatest guy to work with.
Oh shit! What happened? Is it what happened during the on set for Terminator Salvation? Is that it?
It was that, but also even that sort of attitude isn't even unique to that movie. He's done it for a few other films as well, though, and very often is just a guy who is, at least from what I understand, very grumpy and someone who is just not the greatest guy to be around from that, though. So hence why it's stuff like that, or like I even recently saw with Bruce Willis, which is that he's also a guy who's not pleasant to work with. Kevin Smith has very much vocalized his bit when they worked on one movie together.
What were you talking about that Kevin Smith vocalized about?
It was with that Kevin Smith, who worked with Bruce Willis on some film. I can't remember the name, but I remember people seeing it, saying that, yeah, Bruce Willis was not exactly a particular great guy to really work with, though, even though he looks forward to it, at least from what I heard there. And I heard some similar accounts from other people as well, though. So it's always a case of, like, I try to make more of a point of trying to see
or James Cameron.
James
Cameron, I've heard that he's been hard to work with, and Stanley Kubrick. His behavior behind the scenes was infamous.
Yeah, Cameron I at least know more of, though, because, like, for instance, when it came to trying to remember his name, it was the director of Deadpool when he worked for Terminator Dark Fate, to where even though he liked working on the project, he fully admitted he had no intention to work with Cameron after that, and it didn't surprise me.
Cameron's a bit of a perfectionist, right?
I believe that's what he is. Yeah, it's just that he's a very difficult person to work with, though, since he often wants to do things. He has a sort of my way or the highway kind of thing with it, which is always that sort of like conflicting feeling, because I love his movies to death. I mean, minus Avatar, but at the same time, it does kind of sour it when you know, when you at least are aware that, yeah, he's kind of someone who can be kind of a prick.
Oof. Whoops, I dropped my shields.
And that's why for me it leaves with the Mignana stuff, which is that always something I have to remind myself, which is it doesn't matter how talented the actor or director ends up being, they are never worth sacrificing for the health of someone else, though, just for that.
Right.
And it's, as I said, because the stuff always just ends up kind of making me laugh when I see the stand still working so hard, because especially the means that they want to use about the whole, like, oh my god, we should always believe courts, though, and always just do with all that stuff. And then when every means that they say that will prove someone's innocence or guiltiness ends up going against them, and they can still tell themselves that, no, Vic is actually totally innocent, just any day now.
Yeah, totally innocent, totally.
Again, I always point out, so much so that the actor that you love so much ended up losing his court case and owes $235,000 to cover the expenses of Real Marchi and
can he afford it? Just curious.
No, he honestly can't, though, because Funimation severed all ties with him. He will not be working under any new Funimation projects, even though he was in the first dubbed episode of one show, though, whose name I forgot, where now he had already been replaced by then.
He was in like Ruby by
he was kicked off of there, actually, even 3 years ago. Even it was actually, I think it was like either a year or two ago. It was like actually even before this, he was actually cut off from Ruby even sooner than that.
Yeah, from Rooster Teeth. So Rooster Teeth. What exactly happened that caused him to get kicked off all these years ago from them?
I honestly don't know, because I didn't even know until the Kick Vic stuff that he was even in Ruby, let alone that he was kicked out even from there. But yeah, I saw that most conventions basically won't even bring him on anymore. The last one I was aware that brought him on was Kamehameha, I think it was like 2 years ago or something like that.
I heard his behavior was an open secret.
We're all inside the ring.
Yeah, I heard a lot of that he frequently, especially around women, frequently like kiss them, like often against their consent, frequently doing very weird hugs, stuff like that. He was trying to say, oh, like the environment I'm in though frequently does that. You don't kiss people that you don't have affectionate feelings for. Like I kiss my family members, most of them anyway. I also and I would only kiss women who I'm actually romantically involved with. Like I would never kiss someone unless it's one of those two reasons.
Right.
And yet you're just kissing fans though. Like that's really fucking gross. And also because again, I think it just goes in line with how the guy has such a massive ego when it's like, dude, you were in one major series. Chill the fuck out.
Two majors, like two versions of a series.
Technically two, I guess, but still.
I just want to point that out. There's
like, yeah, technically, not even technically, he was in two shows, but they were effectively the same one. One was just more of an alteration, and one was the manga accurate.
Oh. Here's something funny. We kept on finding a lot of a lot of care packages. Must be a lucky day. Oh.
Definitely. Yeah, as I said, it just always strikes me as just so fun being on those, though. It's just seeing people defend someone so hard. Why? There's nothing they really have demonstrated. It's not even like before this, you really heard of anything there. Yes, I followed Vic on Twitter for a while, but that was just since I was following, because I still do that, follow voice actors who were just on shows that I liked. I mean, that's all, honestly the reason for it, but as soon as the Vic stuff came out, I was just like, oh shit, no, I'm getting out of there, though.
Yeah.
Especially when I had no reason to believe that he was innocent when I started doing my homework on it. I still remember Desi Lam, as soon as this stuff came on, though, it's just like, oh yeah, this was like pretty much known to everybody, more or less.
Wow.
Like, he was...
Oh shit. Okay, I'm getting shot at. Oh my god, I was so lucky.
Oh, there you are. Where it was like, he was known in the industry, but the public at large didn't know about it until this big Vic stuff started coming more into the limelight.
Yeah, I kind of wish that someone would, replace the forces, do a redub of Ed in Full Alchemist, with someone else. I was thinking Lena O'Brien said that to, I forgot her name for a second, so...
No, you're fine.
Yeah, and it's like...
Yeah, I would say I would honestly be totally fine with it, though.
Yeah, it's only just make me feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, I totally can get that, and at least it could potentially be doable, though. I don't think Funimation would, because even though there's still a fan base behind it, I don't know if it's big enough to where they could afford to do a redub of one actor across... like, it was 5 seasons for Brotherhood. I don't remember what the original series had, because I never really finished it.
Yeah. Yeah, the first anime series went in a different direction.
Yeah, I know. It kept up with the beginning of the manga, and then basically did its entire different other thing. I'm aware of other things, such as Bradley not being... King Bradley was not one of the... shoot, it's been a while since I see the
Yeah, he's Pride instead of Wrath.
Yeah, he was Pride instead of Wrath, though. Also, his son, and also that
his son is not a homunculus.
Yeah, and also that Envy was also apparently the brother, sort of Edward and Alphonse. So there was like a whole host of things that went from there.
I'm actually kind of curious. The controversy with the Vega side. Which version of Full Alchemist do you prefer? The Brotherhood / manga, or the first anime?
I prefer more of Brotherhood, though, from it. I still think, though, that the original Full Metal Alchemist was good. It was good in its own right, and it still had 2 main scenes from the manga that were some of my most favorite that didn't go to Brotherhood. Those being the train hijack scene and the mining town scene that was from the manga.
Yeah.
But overall, I found myself preferring Brotherhood, though. I just felt I preferred that sticking closer to the source material than not. But I can't understand why there would be people who would actually favor the different route that the original show took.
Hey, do you like the skin I got for you, Bloodhound?
I do like it. I think it's still really cool, though.
Yeah, I got it from the event. Spent about basically about $20 on that thing.
Huh, sounds good.
Yeah. well, actually, I bought I used $10 for the battle pass and another 10 just to get the skin. I just about half of that. And let's get to the news. And because some of them are interesting, like, look. Okay, hear me on this one. But Disney have made a collection of Simpsons episodes where they predicted the future. I kid you not.
That's certainly something. I was never really majorly into The Simpsons, though, mainly because I just never grew up with it.
Yeah.
But honestly, I would just say I do appreciate at least what it did for plenty of people.
It's just really it's really funny. Yeah, somebody at the company decided to have had a sense of humor and make one of the collections be about like over a dozen episodes about various episodes predicting what's going to happen in the future. Hindsight, huh?
Definitely. How many things to end up predicting, though, is definitely pretty crazy to think about, but so as it goes.
I lost my train of thought, but yeah, they're also gonna be working on the third Mandalorian season. Now that is.
I didn't hear any news of them working on a third, though.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. They are.
Where did you hear this?
Various websites such as Sci-Fi, Sci-Fi Fun Sport, and I think IO9. All the various pop culture news, not the clickbait ones. The various pop culture. And I also
I'll have to look up on that, though.
Yeah,
but,
and the Disney Plus update account, which actually it keeps track of like official official updates. Really want to see the Rise of Skywalker on Disney Plus soon because my mom and my stepbrother hasn't seen the movie yet. Funny
it's supposed to be coming on Disney Plus. Probably it would be 6 months after the movie came out, so probably should be coming out on it pretty soon.
In June. Holy shit.
Essentially that, basically because 3 months after it comes out in theaters, so that they can have their, so it can end up selling on DVD, Blu-ray, and digital.
Fair.
And then obviously by the 6 month mark, it's basically able to be where you'll still be able to get engagement numbers when it ends up being thrown up on there.
Right. Yeah. There's
the only reason that Frozen 2 was thrown much earlier was obviously because of this virus.
Yeah, fucking pandemic.
Thank you.
Honestly, that's what I say. The movies is definitely what I miss most doing. Going to when it was during my free time, though.
Yeah,
just like
movie theaters.
It was on a free
being able to go to like a friend's house without trouble. So weirdly enough, weeks ago, members of my family just came by for a barbecue. We're not actually in a lockdown. It's like district by district thing.
Yeah. It's just that's what I definitely miss. Like a free afternoon, I go to the theater for either if it was a movie I was going to watch the first time, or if I was rewatching, get a Coke Icy in one hand, or whatever I decide to eat, whether it was a pizza or popcorn or whatever.
I haven't had pizza in a movie theater in a long time.
I always got the AMC flatbread pepperoni pizza. That always actually tasted pretty good.
I prefer Supreme.
Yeah, I'm someone who either the pizzas I get are always either pepperoni or I just get a meat lovers. I'm a pretty basic person when it comes to that. Supremes I was never a fan of because I just don't like having plants in my vegetables.
Oh, like your unique character who doesn't know who they are or why they are here, but all they know is that they must kill.
Sort of like that. In my case, as I say, I like having.
I'm sorry.
Meat in my pizza,
I'm sorry.
though.
It's just too good to pass up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
So yeah, that's why I end up having for that though. And in general, it's just always was a fun moment though. And it turns out when I looked up on my AMC, actually I was wrong when I thought My Hero Academia Heroes Rising was the last movie. The last movie I actually saw before the quarantine was Bad Boys for Life, which hey, that was honestly a really good movie. I still really enjoyed it.
I heard some surprisingly good things about that movie.
It was really fun. I really enjoyed it, though. And I actually saw Bad Boys 2 about a little bit before that one. And that's a really good movie, but admittedly, definitely is stuff, though, that has its own problematic elements. It has racism and stuff like that in it.
Racism about with two of the main characters being black? That's
not because of that, but more of just things such as, like, say, as other people pointed out, though, such as often the demonstration that a black person has become mature when they sort of have when they become someone like, say, police officers or government workers in general. Definitely has some more racier / edgier jokes there. from that, even though they honestly are funny as fuck, like the Reggie scene though. But it's stuff that it's like, even though I acknowledge that though, I still think the movie was still really freaking great. Again, it's a thing where I can still enjoy something even if it has more problematic elements.
I'm honestly tempted to say your face is problematic when someone says, "Oh, this is problematic," because I know it's childish, but damn it if it's not funny.
I mean, yeah, I think it's just a thing where I would tell people it's okay to enjoy things that do have problematic elements, just as long as you acknowledge them.
Yeah, I'm sorry for making that joke. It's like I just can't tell.
No, I get it though. Because, yeah, again, I'm always a person who tries to keep myself honest with what's stuff in there. Like, obviously, any movie, even the most progressive ones, will still have some elements of their time.
You've seen Knives Out? Because some people have criticized that movie for how they portrayed one of the characters, the young immigrant. I forgot her, Maria, I think? What's her name? Maria?
I think it was that. It's been a while, because I only saw it at a Thursday showing. I actually saw it on Thanksgiving Day, but some of the names always escape me.
Yeah, I am.
But I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about, though. Oh, so what was about to be about?
About something about how Nice I portrayed her as basically representative for immigrants, that sort of thing, like the good immigrant, that sort of thing.
I don't think it was really so much. Well, no,
there. You remember George Phillips? He says he likes that movie, but he feels that a bit of it comes out condescending. I asked him what he means by it, and he told me about that character. It's like, oh, I looked it up, and other people and a couple other people felt the same, including one who also is an immigrant herself. Just I would.
Yeah, I could definitely get from there, though. I mean, as far as problematic, that's not really my area to say, because I always say that since I'm not an immigrant, it's not something for me.
Oh, okay. Bit of a shame, and I'll take that. I don't know if I mentioned this, but like I mentioned in the last D&D stream, but my brother and I watched Onward like last week. Pretty good movie.
Yeah, still keep getting around to it, but it's just that because I'm not in the movie watching mood, I just keep never feeling to go to it.
Yeah, you and me both. I never got around to watching the new Clone Wars series.
Yeah, I have watched it, though. The first episode of The Siege of Mandalore is really freaking great, and it already made me very sad because of what their Ahsoka and Anakin's final time seeing each other was, and oh boy, I just...
Hindsight!
So I already just got for this, though. It's going to be really sad to watch, but nevertheless, I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna like basically base itself off parts of episode 3. I think out of the prequels,
because by the first episode of Siege of Mandalore, episode 3 had just started.
Yeah, and yeah, so out of the prequels, I actually like them not ambivalent or dislike towards. It's episode 3.
One that you what?
The one that I truly enjoy, out of the prequels, episode 3 is one that I enjoyed. I did not enjoy episodes 1 and 2.
I still really enjoy those ones, though. Those were still definitely very flawed movies, but I still really enjoy them. Really
the thing that I enjoyed out of episode 1 was the pod race and the duel with Darth Maul at the end. But other than that, I just kind of like tuned myself out. Even though Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn episode 1 and Christopher I am sorry, I forgot his name. The guy who played Dooku, Christopher Lee. They basically they're good picks, but they couldn't I don't think they could save so to speak episodes 1 and 2. It's just not. I just not feeling.
I personally still loved Lee's performance. Like,
yeah, I do, but
And still,
Yeah.
I just ended up
Yeah.
loving Dooku as that character. 'Cause
I
even-
like most of the Star Wars movies. Just episode 1 and 2, I did not enjoy. Just like kind of like bored.
That's fair
bored. Yeah. The acting is a bit okay. So I don't know if I said this before, but I believe I said it before. But the acting in episodes 1 and 2, the dialogue is dry and pretty stupid at times. Trust me, I did a bit of a marathon before I went out to see episode 9 with my family.
I know, you told me, you posted about it.
Yeah. I think Hayden Christensen's acting, hey, I don't mind the guy, just like his acting in episode 2 was not good. It has improved a lot in episode 3, don't get me wrong, it has improved a lot in episode 3. And episode 1 fucking ruined the mysticism of the Force. And that, I don't think I will have a hard time getting over that. And I'm glad that other entries in the Star Wars universe have either ignore that or, or just like try to reconcile. It's like, but yeah, I just prefer out of all the things in Star Wars, this would be the only one that I would ignore. It's like, I'm sorry for going on a bit of a rant about that. Just like,
No, it's fine though. It never really bothered me, even when I got older. Really, just because when it comes to fiction,
yeah, I love with most things about fiction in Star Wars Legacy. It's kind of the thing with Legacy, and I'll be okay with Rey being Palpatine's granddaughter. Kind of surprising, but Darth Vader being Luke's father. That one was surprising. Well, was surprising when it came out, and it really took me off guard when I found out that Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter. It's like, whoa! I already said before. So anyway, I can accept that, but I'll just say it again. I'm going to have a hard time reconciling with the Force being Midi-chlorians. And yes, I'm gonna rant about it every single time the Midi-chlorians is brought up because.
Attention, first blood.
First blood. Good thing it's not.
Yeah, because as I said, it's just something that never really bothers me, really,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
seldomly anything in a fictional thing ever really bothers me.
Yeah,
really.
very few things in fiction bother me.
I'm sort of basically a person who's I'm a take it or leave it kind of
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, same. Just yeah, I had some exceptions because, like I said, Midi-chlorians is one of them, and very few characters pissed me off. There's one character in Soul Calibur 5, was Patroclus from, yeah. He is such a condescending ass. When I lose against him, he was being all glowed. I was like, oh, that's it. And immediately I do a rematch and then whooped his ass. But in his alternate version, Alpha Patroclus, he's a lot better. And when it's like, oh, why don't you try again? It's like, oh, sure, I'll be happy to. Just a little bit, just to have that in a conversation, but don't get me wrong. I know it's kind of weird to do like this backstage coaching thing. It's like, if they have stuck with that a bit more of that characterization for Alpha Patroclus, the game, the story mode for Soul Calibur 5 would have been a lot more tolerable. Trust me on this one. One of the first things that guy did was kill an innocent person believing he's a malfested. No, I'm not kidding. Look it up.
Sorry, not exactly sure what the malfested means.
Malfested, basically people have been affected by the infected by Soul Edge and stuff.
Attention, there is a new kill leader.
Long
Because I'm
story.
not really too familiar with Soul Calibur lore, because I only played 2 of the games and only very briefly played 6 when it was with my friend's ex-girlfriend when she was over in Florida, and that was really about it. I don't really know much of the lore behind any of it.
Yeah, I'm sorry for talking your ear off about the lore.
No, it's fine though. I mean, whatever you want to talk about. Is
Yeah,
free
not
game
even the
here.
catalyst from Mass Effect 3 really pissed me off. Not even that thing.
Honestly, even when I first saw it, I was very confused that was the thing so many people were angry over.
I wasn't even angry over that.
Honestly, in hindsight, it honestly made complete sense though for it to me.
Oh, I'm listening. Why is that? I don't think you've talked about that. We talked about why. Have you?
I don't know, because for me, it just never really seemed to me though. Because I'll have to go and replay it though, probably so I can catch more of the dialogue on it. But I swear there were other parts of it where people were starting to get where some of the characters mentioned that it was likely that the Reapers were being controlled by a single sort of being, as opposed to them being more individually active.
Yeah,
which made more sense to me. So it was like the fact that it was then made. Oh yeah, that's because there was a single intelligence driving it. Didn't really shock me then, because the Reapers were never shown acting individually.
What actually shocked me was how abrupt it was. I actually don't mind the idea. I just a little flabbergasted, a little shocked at how it ended, like very abruptly. You see the Normandy crashing and potentially the crew like coming out of the ship, and then just ends.
Target spotted.
With the extended cut, and for anybody who doesn't have that game, get the DLC, the extended cut DLC. It's free. You thank me later.
So yeah, I mean, it's just because for me though, like especially as I got older though, definitely made me glad that I was never one of these people who was mega, oh my god, I can't believe it was that though, because as I get older, I just always see that it's never really worth it to the people who are affected by it. I still remember like when I was seeing Anthony Fantano, who recently brought Rebecca Black to my attention, where she ended up having a Anthony Fantano, he's a music reviewer on YouTube, goes by things such as Internet's busiest music nerd, as well as also frequently goes by best teeth in the game, though, which is frequently a trademark phrase of his. He's a really good reviewer. I like listening to his opinions on various records and albums when he ends up reviewing them. For it, where he ended up bringing on his second channel, Fantano, where he brought up Rebecca Black, where she ended up posting on Twitter, which was about her experiences on after the whole Friday music video and how that affected her life for it. And especially just like when I saw the news of Ahmed Best when he went about his story about committing suicide over how episode 1 affected his career. Because of the backlash to it, reminded me that it's just never worth doing that stuff though, because that anger. Always
I sympathize with the guy much as I don't like the guy who played the. Much as I don't like the Jar Jar Binks as a whole. I really feel bad for the guy playing him because he nearly took his whole life.
And Black felt the same way for me. I'm not gonna go and say that the Friday music video was actually this hidden gem we didn't know about, but I swear people's reactions to it were way overblown. It was basically just a cheesy little song about the weekend, but it shouldn't have been regarded anything more than that. Yeah. And especially not one where she ended up having to be so put into this limelight when she was just a teenager at the time. I think she was only 16.
16? So she made that when she was 16?
Yeah, she was only a teenager when she made that video. Her mother paid like a few $1,000s to a music studio just to know her make it because she wanted to be a musician. But again, aside from only people, I'm not going to say that they had to have loved it because it was some misunderstood classic. I'm not going to go into stuff anything like that. But it just feels really overblown by how much people were latching onto her, trying to treat as if she was this, as it was some uniquely bad thing. It was just a cheesy song, and that was it.
Yeah. If there was something...
And she regularly admitted that having watched the suicidal thoughts, pretty much nobody could cite her on for a music video because anyone that the producer saw was, oh my god, she made that cheesy little song there on YouTube that everyone hated.
Yeah. I never listened to the song. I really didn't care about it. Wow.
It just is always for me though, like even though it never acted as an epiphany, but it always reminded me of her perspective. You want to know why I basically never end up having some big reaction because I dislike, even if I end up disliking this or that piece, because of how that always, and I always emphasize, always that hatred will find its way to the creator.
Yeah, they've never. Do these people even learn from like Star Wars? Just
No, because I'm saying the people who often do this don't really even think of it in the moment, which is why it always strikes. Which is always why I've been so glad that one of the at least few good things I could say that I always had from the very beginning was I was never majorly outraged when a series did this or that thing.
Yeah, I
Or
was like,
even
yeah,
if I
shit
did
happens,
feel
right?
it would immediately pass.
Yeah, and like shit happens, right? Like
Exactly. Like, the only time I can remember having a big reaction in a negatory fashion was only when I learned of Code Lyoko Evolution when it was all those years ago. And what brought it was that it was actually the original Code Lyoko series was released on Netflix, and I decided to rewatch it. I still like it, even if there's definitely a lot of corniness stuff that's attached with it. But honestly, it's just something I still enjoy anyway. And then at the time when I learned that there was a live action season there as essentially a sequel series, I really thought it was bad, though. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe they did this. And I was able to
yeah, do
watch
you have
the
any idea
videos
why they did a
online.
live action like sequel season?
They were trying to essentially say it was for creative reasons, but the real reason was that it was way cheaper than animation.
So that's why there's been a lot of animated movies lately.
No, it was that the live action stuff was way cheaper.
Huh.
So that's why essentially it's like that. What's the real reason? It was just way cheaper to do that. And honestly, even when I saw it, I still really enjoyed the live action series season of it. It sucks that it ended up not getting the viewership it needed to kick off, but hey, I still enjoyed it nevertheless.
Speaking of live action stuff, I heard there might be a live action remake of Robin Hood.
Also heard that apparently Sony and the writers of them are apparently now being given the rights to make a One Punch Man live action movie. So it's like, yeah, so that's something.
Yeah, and speaking of Sony, the sequel to Venom is going to be called Venom. Let There Be Carnage. It'll be out on June 25th of next year. Yeah,
Yeah, assuming that it will actually
yeah,
be
the name
next year.
there will be Carnage is like really?
Yeah, that already stuck out to me because that was the very last 4 words of the movie. There's gonna be carnage. I can say the line delivery was cheesy, and Woody Harrelson in that really bad wig definitely.
Yeah,
was
Bob,
just a very
Sideshow
thin,
Bob,
okay.
Sideshow Bob hair.
Let's explore this way.
Sideshow Bob. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar.
One of the bad guys from that has a weird obsession with a Bart from The Simpsons.
Oh,
Yeah, big poofy afro-like hair. You'll know the hair when you see it.
yeah, I know it. Yeah, I think I know what you mean though. And it's just like it just really stood out to me, like how the wig was just so obvious from there.
Yeah, one of the reasons why you don't like that movie. Oh,
I mean, I'm not gonna. I won't throw in some big one for it though. But it's just a thing that's just, whatever. I'm not gonna see the sequel though because I didn't like the previous movie.
Yeah.
And I just leave it at that though.
yeah, and
then when I saw
the Mobius movie is also going to be delayed. So that the Venom movie and Spider-Man 3 will be released pretty closely.
I mean, so yeah, it's just all of those things though. And then when it came to the knowledge that the One Punch Man one was coming out, aside from being a news thing that I was just seeing spread around though because it was officially confirmed, didn't really care for it though because I figured I wasn't going to watch the movie anyway because One Punch Man seemed also again into the thing I didn't want to see, which is another haha aren't superheroes huge idiots kind of thing, and I just don't really want that.
They have a similar tone to My Hero Academia from what I can tell.
R99 here.
Because it seemed it was supposed to be that Saitama was basically supposed to be Superman if he was basically an overgrown child thing. Geno's gave me very strong, I'm just the stereotype of dark characters thing, which I already have seen way too many times to already want. And in general,
my brother pulled off a better parody of the edgy type character. He looks all edgy and stuff, wears the clothes and everything, but he's very awkward. That's what. And also he has a bag of holding that always has biscuits and gravy. Sweet.
And I'm told that really, aside from the first season, that the show just wasn't really good past that. So for it, I just also felt even less inclined to watch it.
Fair enough.
I mean, I'm not someone who's against stuff parroting my stuff, though. I mean, I'm actually looking forward to The Boys season 2 for that, though. I mean, I'm not someone who's against the stuff I love being parodied, but with now it seeming like virtually everyone is trying to do this sort of lol, aren't superheroes stupid thing, it's just honestly
like
been getting
aping
very sick of
from
it.
from Watchmen.
The Watchmen show wasn't even parodying it, though. It's still, honestly, it
Yeah,
was still
I was
made
talking
in
about the
Moore's
comics.
image.
I was actually talking about the comics.
I mean, again, I'm not against things that are deconstructions of it. I never read the comic to be able to fully say what my feelings are on it, but based at least from the story that I saw of it, it still looks like it was still well done, though.
Yeah, it is
I
well
mean,
done. It is well done. I read the
Again,
comics.
I'm not a person who's fully against it. I feel like when it's something done on its individual basis, I could maybe be more understanding and accepting of it. But now that it's being more of everywhere, I'm just more immediately to tuning out of it, which is why even One Punch Man seemed more of funny to me when I was more of like when I was 19 years old. But then when I hit my 20s, I was more of just like a, really? Is it going to be another one of those ones? I mean, because My Hero Academia, even when I first saw the visuals of it, never gave me the vibe of a parody one, though, from it. I mean, sure, it obviously had some things that took a bit overboard, and even some parodying of it in itself, but it never came across to me, even from the still images and maybe brief clips on YouTube, never came across to me as something that was either mean-spirited or trying to mock it, though. It seemed like it was still celebrating it, whereas One Punch Man, even from what I saw, seemed like it wanted to do a full-blown parody of it, and I didn't care for it by the time I hit my 20s.
Right. Right. Oh, you know what the Scoob animated movie that's gonna be out soon?
Yeah, it's coming out on video next month. I honestly am getting the feeling that that's what a lot of people are doing with their movies. I think because it's just not really worth trying to do a release date to the end of the year, possibly even going to next year, because I'm getting the feeling that the Black Widow movie is probably going to be delayed again from that, though,
Oh, God. I just hope that's not the case. That would totally suck.
I get the feeling it will, because a lot of health experts are still saying that it may not really even be worth it, we may still not be wise to do things like movie theaters, concerts, etc. That the soonest we could start doing that would probably not be till next year. So that's why I get the feeling that the Black Widow movie is probably going to end up being delayed again.
Ah, shit. Here we go again. I have a bad feeling about this. I just hope that's not the case.
I feel it, though. Because it looks really good, and I definitely want to see it, though.
1 second.
It's supposed to be the first movie of Phase 4, and... Oof.
Again, this year will be surprising because it'll be the first year in a long time that we only have one Marvel movie across the entire year.
Yeah.
I know I've seen a lot of people who insist that once the theaters start opening up, that it'll mean that the movie business will boom again, but I'm not too sure on that, considering the high unemployment numbers we're seeing, and I doubt those are going to get resolved the moment that this crisis is over.
And I'm still waiting for my damn stimulus check. Well, I've been reading that it should be that should get it.
Apparently, the second round of checks is supposed to start coming out this Friday.
Yeah, but for me, it's or early May at the latest, because I'm on disability.
Yeah, how did those work for you guys? I have been reading up as to how exactly the checks are distributed for various people.
I believe, most likely, I believe it's just applied to how I get my disability directly to my bank account.
Hostile over there.
So you're direct deposit.
Yeah, direct deposit. Yeah.
I am as well, but I'm also in this weird thing where apparently college students ended up having this weird exemption, at least from the first set of checks, if they were labeled as dependent on their parents. I'm not, but it seems because of my college status, I'm still being treated as if I am. So it seems that this next section of payments, starting on Friday, is supposed to be where I start getting the 1,200 one as well, though.
Right.
So I'm still waiting on that, and at least in good news, my mom's tax agent actually managed to get me a very nice boost on my tax returns that I got. I was initially supposed to get 800, but because of some rules that ended up coming on my bank account, on my taxes and also my college status, I'm actually going to be getting $1,699 instead.
Oh, game over. At least we made it that far. Wow. You were saying?
Yeah. I said that I'm apparently, because of some unique rules that my mom's tax agent was able to get on for my taxes, though, specifically my college status, as also going to be now doubling the money that my tax returns are going to get, $1,600 as opposed to $800.
Damn, that's nice. There's also going to be another. There's going to be another bill proposed by the Democrats in the House that would give out anyone affected by the pandemic $2,000 a month for up to 6 months.
Yeah, I'm hoping that gets passed, but honestly, I'm pretty sure the GOP will just shut that down like immediately.
They may get pressured. Who knows?
And again, like every other country, when I'm seeing people on Twitter who are mentioning it, when it, like you guys are doing large discussions on this, our countries are just doing that.
Yeah. Sweden, weirdly enough, decided to keep their stuff open, and it's not quite working out for them, from what I can tell.
It's not working out for anyone who's trying to lax on their stuff, though, because they seem to be forgetting the message that the reason why things were so low in the coronavirus area is explicitly because of the fact that those restrictions were working. And now
yeah,
that
it's like,
them,
oh,
it's
maybe,
back
hey,
up.
if it was working, I mean, it should stop taking them. Huge, huge backlash effect. It's like, oh, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, it's having that same thing with it, which is basically like being the person who's like, oh, I'm feeling well now, so I'm not going to take my medication anymore, and then it starts going back all over again.
Yeah.
Like I've been taking.
I used to know someone who had that similar mindset, and
we'll win this thing together.
Well, it's got ugly for her and her son. I really can't say anything else because holy shit, it was the details were ugly.
Damn. I mean, for me personally, like I've been sort of taking.
Yeah, long story short, it basically involves kidnapping her own son and living out her with complete strangers, and involves a search and rescue team.
In case you didn't know,
I might be wrong a few details.
Good luck.
Yeah, she's from what I can tell, she's in an institution.
Fuck.
And her son, they used to live with us, but he has developed some some sociopathic signs.
Oh, that's not good.
Especially towards I think it was towards women. So yeah, not a good look for him.
Definitely. I mean, like for me, like for instance, I've been taking my antidepressants and antipsychotics very regularly, but for me, it hasn't really had any major effects when I stopped doing so. Like it seems as if though, like my issues with it have sort of been appearing more of very randomly, and if they start appearing up, then I just simply take the medication again.
Yep. Oh, that was close. Ah, shit. Hey, at least I killed someone.
Hostile close. Making contact with enemy. Contact with target.
Oh, did you disconnect?
Come on, compadre, get up. Come on.
Hello? Oh, shit. Oh, that's not good. I'll give it a sec.
There's another squad.
I'll give it a sec.
You're in a hot zone. There may be enemies around here.
Oh yeah, his internet has a tendency to black out. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm back though. It's just that just had the same thing of my internet disconnecting. I figured once I started seeing that when it was approaching 24.
It happened like an hour ago. What happened?
Again, it happens every hour at the 25-minute mark of every hour.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah. So again, we'll still be playing. Don't worry, I'll still be on here though. Like, 'cause
Okay,
honestly,
okay,
'cause I
yeah,
actually just,
that made me worried.
yeah, don't worry. I still want to play
Yeah,
with you though. Because,
yo,
again, I'm
there's gonna
having
be
lot
a
of fun with
remastered
this.
edition of Crisis coming out this summer. Can your computer
I
handle
saw.
it?
I actually played I think it was like Crisis 2 so many years ago, but I never really played any of the two other ones.
Huh. Never played any of the games. I just want to make that mandatory, like, hey, your computer run it joke, because
Yeah.
Crisis is known for like melting
I heard
computers.
that the game was actually really advanced for its time, though, for that. So hence why, like a lot of even up at top of the line software even had, at least from how I understood it, was still pretty crazy
If you
stuff.
can't keep up, you're straight out of luck.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
I'm still laughing at like, oh, can you it's just like, I think it just gets me.
So,
Value,
definitely is,
yeah, this is an American company called Value. I'm looking up right now. I forgot the name for a second. Value Act. Value Act has bought some half $1 billion in Nintendo shares, which is about 7% of Nintendo's shares.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that goes. It would suck to see if Nintendo ended up being owned by by a large company, though. But I would say, oh well, if that ends up happening, nothing I can really do about it.
Yeah. And Fortnite is now finally on a Google on the Google Play Store after trying to trying to do everything on Android phones. Yeah,
Oh,
Epic
that's
tried to pull a move on Google by not having Fortnite be part of their Google Play Store for a while. Which
I have
actually
to
kind of
say,
makes me
that's
curious.
very
Is there going to be like a mobile version of Apex Legends?
I'm honestly not sure though. I mean, Fortnite mobile and PUBG mobile have been pretty big though. I mean, I'm imagining that Apex may have one in the future. Especially because EA is always looking forward, is always seeing any opportunity to expand into the mobile market.
We're inside the ring. Got the positional.
Hang on, beating up with my fists. Yeah, that's
Oh, got him.
nice. Crap.
Fuck, but I was killed.
A for effort.
Yeah.
You ever heard of like an anthology series of games called game series called The Dark Pictures? First one was the Man of Medan, made by the same people who did Until Dawn. So same type of gameplay and everything. Yeah. The next entry will be called Little Hope. You ever heard of Black Mirror?
Yeah, of course I've heard of it.
There's
I don't have
like
Netflix, but I've heard of
an interactive choose your own adventure thing called Bandersnatch. One of the actors who was in that is one of the main characters in it's gonna be in Little Hope.
Oh, that sounds neat.
Yeah, so I was thinking like maybe down the line, sometime next month, I would get a Man of Medan for like I will play through it twice, once with my brother and another time with you. I think I can. Do you have the game?
Which game?
Man of Medan. I think it's about $30.
No, I do not though.
Yeah, it's. So they're gonna do like 2 games a year, with the exception of Man of Medan last year. So two years of games for $30 each.
So I'll definitely go and see about getting it in the future. It's just because currently when I get the COVID check, the tax returns that I should be getting, as well as also because I'm no doubt going to be that even if they don't do the monthly thing, there's going to be a second round of payments down the line.
I really do hope so.
I honestly am. I'm not optimistic that it is very likely to happen because, again, with how hard it's being pushed, and even Republicans are capitulating on that as well.
Yeah.
So
if they're not all like they're gone happy about opening up our economy again.
Yeah, because even if, I mean, if I'm to say it's very up in the air if we would get the $2,000 a month thing that people like Bernie Sanders and other Democrats are trying to push for, but I am very confident that at least a second set of payments, at least for one-time ones, will still circuit again. I have no question of that.
Yeah, just to be sure, Bernie didn't actually. I just want to point out that that
I know he's not the one who started it, but I used him as an example.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Like, of course, though, I know someone probably else started it, though, but at least he's one of the people who's at least being most famous with it, though. But at the very least, I know plenty of Senate of Democrats.
Yeah, I really am sorry for pointing that out. I'm sorry for pointing that out. It's,
I know your feelings on. You don't have to explain. I know.
Yeah. Let's see what else is on the list. Oh.
It's just
I used to play a lot of like Star Wars Episode 1 Racer on the N64, and it turns out it's going to be out on the Switch and the PS4 later, sometime in May.
I saw that as well, though.
Yeah, my brother and I played that game a lot when we were like young on the N64. I wonder what happened
For
to
me
our
and my brother, the Star Wars game we played the most when it wasn't the original Battlefront games was actually the Episode 3 video game adaptation.
Oh, I have that on PS2. That's what happened.
I'll be honest, that game's actually better than was surprisingly really good for, not just even as a game that was a adaptation from a movie, but even in its own right, was still pretty good overall.
Yeah, and it's not canon, anymore. Sorry,
I mean, sure. And funnily enough, that game was actually the first time I ever was actually listened to Kari Walgreen's voice, because she voiced Sarah in that game.
And I think she voiced the female Jedi Knight in Star Wars: The Old Republic.
I saw that as well, though, because mainly she still is very much vocalizes how she enjoyed playing Sarah in the original Episode 3 game, so she's always been very happy about it. I'm like, huh, that's neat.
Yeah, she's quite a Star Wars fan.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Again, if she ever goes in a Star Wars movie,
and again,
that can't be soon enough.
I enjoyed pretty much episodes 3 to all the way to 3 to 9. Did not enjoy episodes 1 and 2. Enjoyed.
Yeah, we just got that through though.
Yeah.
It's just because when
enjoyed
the
Rogue One, and
after
I kind of enjoyed Solo, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's just because from once my COVID payments start going in, I'm trying to mainly have it to where I can put some of that in actors' pockets, though, for it. Like for Monica Rial, Jamie Marchi, or whoever other actors and actresses I can. I'm going to be trying to like buy something that they autograph, though, or a cameo or whatever it is that I can support them in, to just give them that, so that way it can help them during these times that they're in. Since these actors are definitely having to be very by this whole coronavirus thing, and even though Rial are still being able to get some work because they are actually working from their homes, though, for the dubs of the shows they're working on, but they're probably not going to see much money after that, if any.
Did that guy
So
log
I'm going to be
off?
trying to do that.
I wonder if that guy just
It's mainly because
I wonder if that guy just like logged off. Well, okay, got a new weapon.
we had that in the previous match as well, where the guy logged off there. It's just because for me, even during this virus, I still want to be able to give to people, at least if I can manage it, because it was a thing that I explained with my friends as well, though, on this. You're one of them, so of course I can say this as well, though, which is that I really want to make it to where I don't just do good when it's to my convenience, which is something that I really dislike having seen a lot of, though, especially when I grew up as I was getting older. See people who only do good deeds when it's something that is not to any cost to them at all.
Right. But that's kind of stuff like what my courier would do, like do something good for convenience, because that's kind of him. Solo, selfish type character. Sorry, I'm sorry for bringing up.
No, Solo has always been a reluctant hero. He's never been that sort of
I thought he was
person.
selfish. He started out pretty selfish.
No, he's a very reluctant hero type character, because a lot of people often think he was more of a selfish one because he has the aesthetics of one, and very often when you have the aesthetics, you can make the character seem like anything. But no, he's always been one who always wants to do the good thing, but he very much doesn't want to look like he's the part. Which I can sympathize, because I'm kind of the same thing where even though I frequently fail at it, I try to do good deeds but not be known for them. But when I do good deeds, I can't help but become known when I do them.
And I'm really keen to tell people saying like, you should donate money instead, and like announce it to the world. It's like, good deeds, when you do good deeds, you don't necessarily have
I'm not the sort of person who likes that attitude either, that because you do good deeds, you should do them in silence. I'm the person who prefers doing that, but primarily just because it's just a personal me thing.
You don't have...
I don't...
Yeah, it's just like...
This is always one of the funny things when I talk about games, which is that I still remember from Fallout New Vegas, which is I'm always fixing to be the center of attention. In real life, no. In video games, hell yes.
Because... you are the main character. Of course, you're always gonna be fixing to be the...
Like in Fallout New Vegas, the first thing I always do is I try to be buddy up with every faction that I can, and just try to be that sort of person. But like in real life, I don't personally like doing that.
I remember when one of the misfits that you talk to, if you have good NCR reputation, it's like, oh great, here comes the brown noser.
I don't know if I remember that piece of dialogue though.
Yeah, that's it. That's in New Vegas. I remember that.
But yeah, I'm just saying, like, because at least speaking for me personally, it's just I prefer being out of the spotlight when I end up usually doing any good deeds though. But it pretty much always fails, because when I do them, people remember me. Like, I try to be the person who's in the shadows, but regardless of my efforts, people always remember me. Like, when I came back at my first high school when I was in freshman year, and I returned for senior year, pretty much everyone remembered me, even though I didn't really do all that much. And it wasn't even remember me in the, oh man, look at that shithead, even though I probably should have.
Oh hey, here's that guy, right?
Yeah, I was just like, oh wow, cool, you remember me, even though like I thought everyone forgot about me aside from like a handful of people. I'm like, no, I totally remember you.
Okay, that's actually kind of cool to hear.
So yeah, it's usually I still have that. That's why I say it always strikes me as funny though, where I usually try to do good deeds, but try to be someone who's out of the spotlight. But occasionally I find myself being, of course, not intentionally there.
Have you seen the remix of Imagine by who was the actors who played Wonder Woman? I forget. I'm not good with names.
Linda Carter and...
No, not Linda. The other version of Wonder Woman. The recent version of Wonder Woman.
Susan Eisenberg?
No. Live action.
Oh, Gal Gadot.
Yeah, Gal Gadot and other actors and actresses sing along
doing that song thing. I didn't listen to it, but yeah, it already came across to me as corny in concept. I don't think she was acting with ill intent. I just think that she just wasn't someone who was knowing how to be able to act best during this. Like, honestly, the best thing you can do is just give money or do what you can. Like, Jason Momoa just recently was donating water from his personal company, which is basically one that gives water, but they have them in aluminum cans instead of bottles, because it's most aluminum in the world is recycled. And so he just gave them freely to Native Americans, especially the Navajo tribe, who have very high unemployment rates and are also disproportionately suffering from the coronavirus. But I'm like, hey, that's really freaking awesome of him to do, because he's doing something that
I'm pretty sure at least most of the actors and actresses in that video donated. Ow.
I see that as well, though. This is why I dislike it, though, when people say for major actors or actresses, like, oh, why don't you donate? And then when they do these big things, it's, oh, you're doing this to show off, which is always strikes me as stupid when I'm like, PR is not like money, where the more you have, it can only just be great, though. PR is sort of this thing where at some point, having more of it doesn't mean anything. Like, you're at that point, all you're doing is maybe reinforcing an image.
Yeah.
I can buy doing the good PR thing if you're doing this in the wake of like some massive scandal, like when it came to Logan Paul when he filmed obviously that dead body in Japan.
Oh my God, I remember that. It was like, what? Jesus Christ!
New Year's Day, yeah, that was quite the year.
What the fuck was he thinking?
So it's like when people, if I were to to see someone make that claim when it was like after something, when it's of that massive scandal, I could be like, okay, I can see where the whole "you're doing this for good PR" thing can come in. But when you're just doing this in a void, I can't come to that conclusion, because it's like, because even if it were true, I'd be like, who fucking cares? You're doing a good thing. And this is a point where like the actions matter way more than the intent at this point.
Yeah. Sorry. A lot of this is like.
It's why, like, I say for someone like me, though, like, yes, when I do good deeds, I want to stay out of the spotlight. I donate to charities, like, give this into, to put in perspective, Connor, I actually at one point gave a girl $260 for her charity just because she asked.
Nothing like
I gave about $10 to a charity that helps children. $10 mostly because I'm a little strapped. I tend to be a little strapped of money, and well, that's what.
$260 was a lot for me. I was only working an 8-hour job, and that was basically a week's pay for me. And I just gave that to her.
Jesus. 80 hours.
$8 an hour, and it's like
I thought you
that
said
to her
80 hours. I'm sorry. I thought
no, $8 an hour. Correction. So yeah, it's that's what I ended up doing, and so because she was like, hey, this is for a sorority we're doing a charity run though, and we could use money, and so she had like a $300 thing for it. She already got $40 probably from other people, and I was like, hey, here's the other $260. Go nuts.
Right. I'm
like
glad
even
you
my
did that.
friends
And
though, like, who heard it, they're like,
I felt kind of sorry for like not sending more money to this to that organization. But $10, it still makes it.
No, it's something. Never feel like you should give more money though. Like it reminds me of that thing. Did you see that clip of that Twitch streamer who was trying to say like, "Oh my God, give me $5 subscriptions or whatever"? Did you see it?
Nope. I don't remember.
So, long story short, there was a Twitch streamer where she was trying to say that, like, for people who, about giving $5 things on her Twitch streams, though, and saying, like, oh my God, if you can't do that, it's because you're irresponsible with money, saying that they should go and give her money just because if they enjoy her content. I'm like, no, they don't owe anything to you. Like, if they give you $5, be appreciative that they can give that much.
Yeah, I'm currently in
You should
Chile right
never
now,
feel guilty
and
for what you
right now
give.
people can subscribe to me. Yeah, it would be nice, but it's not mandatory.
Attention. First
Like also keep in mind, Twitch allows it to
Alright,
where
let's
you
do
can
this
do
thing.
paid-only streams. Like only your subscribers on Twitch can actually watch your stuff. You can do that.
Yeah. I was just like,
So
it would be
it's always
nice
a case of,
if you
like-
give me a subscription, and I haven't come up with any, like, what do you get in return for $5?
Like, yeah, I'm like, you should never feel like, oh man, I feel so guilty for doing this. Like, sure, there are things where I'm like, man, I wish I had more money to give you, which is actually an instance where for that same girl who was also doing a run for her sorority, I actually gave her $100 where I'm like, I'm sorry I couldn't give you more because I was going to Star Wars Celebration that year. It was 2017. I'm like, and this $100 is all I can give you. I'm like, I wish I'd give you more, but I'm strapped at the moment.
Yeah. Alright, that's a good point, thanks.
So yeah, that's what, like, it's one thing if you're like, oh man, I wish I could give more though, but like, if that's all you can give, then just be like, hey, you know, this is, feel happy that you still were able to do that.
That's a good point.
And yeah, that's what my friends though, like, because they were actually, because of a whole host of things, I'll probably tell you in another stream, but when they were trying to point out to me, because they always said with me, I think they're correct with it, they're like, Alex, it's not that you don't give yourself enough credit, it's you don't give yourself credit at all. Which is my issue though with things, and they were just like, yeah, to keep in mind, you gave a girl $260 for a girl that you only were an acquaintance with in high school. They're like, because my friend Parker, who's like his grandmother, who's actually a millionaire, she actually makes millions by like planting trees and such. Like she's like, she gives $260 to people who she is like family and people she knows very well, and you gave that to someone who you only kind of know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Or even when they said other ones, like when I was on a hotel, when I was at a hotel hangout, because at Universal I get like super deep discounts at the resorts that they have there, and I didn't even charge my friends for it. The hotel costs and the parking expenses were covered by me, and they're like, man, I feel kind of guilty that you didn't even ask us to even cover for it. I'm like, no, because I wanted to do this.
I'll take that. I should probably put
So
yeah, okay.
So hence why for me, like, I try to keep my good deeds. I'm not shy of admitting when I've done them, but I'm not the person who likes flaunting that I did it, though. But I'm not the sort of person who's going to shame someone who is open, like, hey, guys, here's the thing that I'm doing, though. For a good deed, because hey, you're doing good in the world, and honestly, that's all I can ask you to do. And I'm not going to be the person who's like, oh my god, you're probably doing this for attention, or they're doing this because they like doing it. Like, I like giving to people.
And I also thought about me like self-promoting my stories because I think they're good. I think people would enjoy them, and I know I could be a little, you know, pushy about them.
Like, sure, I think, though, that it's completely fine. Now, as far as the bragging of it, though, sure, I can at least get, in theory, what the people who think that it's more cynical reasons when they give can have that sort of mindset. Someone who's doing good deeds because they're hoping that they can be seen as this great Samaritan or whatever, a booster gold kind of person. But it's like, honestly, since you're doing good deeds, I could frankly not care why you're doing it. Just all I care about is that you're just doing good deeds.
Yeah. Not care for the most part. I get, it's just... Alright.
Sure, and
have I told you about the time that some assholes decided to riff on one of my works, at least the first few chapters?
Yeah, I think you told me about this story.
Yeah, I'm still kind of thinking about it, just like keeping an eye on it, you know, just in case, you know, they don't cause any more trouble. Hopefully they aren't.
Scanning the area.
Yeah.
But they are causing trouble for other people. Some of them are bad, but seriously, you're gonna go out of your way to make fun of someone?
So yeah, that's why I don't.
Even though they're like, even though super pragmatic, it's like warn people to stay away from these. Just don't, you know, just go like do a section by section of like mocking and making fun of these stories. Not cool.
And yeah, up-and-coming artists, they are people who I never personally rib on. For me, there is one caveat, and it's mainly if you're an up-and-coming artist who tries to have this go about you that's like, oh my god, I'm this person who's way better than the others. Like, you've probably seen that guy who was trying to be like, oh my god, these people who, for the High Republic stories that LucasArts has currently working on right now, he's like, oh my god, I can do these redesigns way better.
Oh, and for some reason, someone decided to add like a to make a one version, like one of the redesigns
I'm
to
like,
make
dude,
a barbarian.
Your designs are fucking laughable, and you want to go and talk about how the people at Lucasfilm don't know what they're doing. Man, no,
Yeah,
that's
they pretty much know what they're doing, even at the worst with the prequels and well, for every single Star Wars movie, because they always.
Like, dude, how insecure can you be that the male character you have doesn't even look like it? If you just remove the lightsaber, I would have thought that this was either someone who was doing a poor Shao Kahn, a good poor version of good Shao Kahn, or I would have thought, as other people said, it was some sort of Conan the Barbarian or sort of John Carter thing going on. I would never even have guessed that it was Star Wars, especially with the tattoos and the scarring and the not able to decide whether he's battle damaged or not thing going on. And especially, of course, with the woman, her hips are noticeably bigger, she has way wider hips, because of course, though, we need those, and all those things, and it's like,
what were they thinking?
See, it's one thing for me, like someone like you who does fanfic, where you're just like, oh, hey guys, like here's this fanfic story that I'm doing, like you're currently doing a Mass Effect Fallout crossover. I'm like, yeah, even if I didn't think your story was good or whatever, I'd be like, hey, I'm not gonna knock on it though.
Yeah,
like, have fun with it.
I actually did that like years ago. Did some rewriting here and there, and I also did a Mass Effect original character insert, not self-insert, original character, because I have a hard time playing myself in games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just find that weird. And
so yeah, that's why I say artists who are coming up though, like yeah, either I just won't say anything on their work if I don't think it's good, or just support them.
Yeah,
though. I mean, the only time
though Nick pointed out some errors and pointing out some writing errors and stuff, and I'm happy to listen to him point out when he's improved it. I do ask him to I do have to remind him like you'll have to ask me next time when that happens, you know, for courtesy's sake, that sort of thing. He's very helpful. It's just like it would be better if you ask, and more than likely I'll say yes.
Yeah, so it's always things like that where I'm always willing to support, though. But I do admit that there is that one caveat, and it does piss me off when I see it, is when I try to see some younger artist who doesn't really have any major work to their name, trying to act like, oh my god, I can do better than these other sellout artists. Like, I think it was Renfinus, the person who was singing it, or someone else who's like, yes, I worked my ass off to be able to go to LucasArts. I spent 20 years perfecting my craft, so that way I could be able to work for this giant company that I love, though, just so I can ruin it behind the scenes. Shut the fuck up.
What? Ruin? What?
Yeah, because a lot of these people saying like these people are trying to ruin the franchise. I'm like, geez, where have I heard those words before? Oh yeah, that's the same thing I've been hearing for the last 15 years now.
What the fuck? Over.
Like, especially when I'm doing these redesigns, when I'm like, how could you?
First of all, Star Wars got ruined because most of the newer movies, except for Solo, made more than $1 billion. Yeah,
and besides, though, for Solo being closed, isn't even because people were not willing to go to, were not willing to see it, though. It was that it was sandwiched between Black Panther and Infinity War.
Yeah, are they dumb?
Like, it was people were basically franchise fatigue out by that point because they already saw two of the biggest movies of the year back to back, pretty much.
Everybody, let's beat up the one with the gun. What could go wrong?
So it's just a thing like that, though. So hence that caveat, and why it really pissed me off, though, with him trying to do that, because at least the concept art, because it's not even finished designs is the other thing. It's not finished. Like, we're just seeing the concept art of these things. It's in the name, and even still, the concept arts still look good. They look exactly like what Jedi should look like. But this guy decides he wants to go and make high fantasy shit. Which, yes, even though high fantasy had some influence on Star Wars, it was not those aspects.
It's
like the hypersexualized parts was not what Star Wars was influenced by.
Yeah, except for Leia's slave outfit. But yeah, it's just like,
yeah, that's the one exception. Like, again, though, and especially the female one felt most insulting to me because of this person trying to say how much they understood it.
And the male one, that lightsaber in the redesign is longer and thicker, and no little. Yeah.
Like, I know, it was very noticeable. It's like clear as day between it. And even though I'm not the person who likes saying it, but I can't look at it and not go, dude, you're overcompensating right now. I'm not the person who thinks that immediately for big swords, but like, if you're someone who had to, from a redesign, decide that you had to make the sword noticeably bigger. Or the
lightsaber, lightsaber hilt bigger. Oh, speaking of Star Wars, speaking of lightsabers, split lightsaber. Jedi Order. Yes!
Yeah, that was always super fun with it. I just don't end up using it because I've always been a single hilt kind of person.
Yeah, lately. I just noticed, like, I rarely use the double bladed lightsaber form. It's just like,
this is your champion.
I just like run out to it and do like a jump attack, and then just like basically hack away my enemy's stamina and just like bash him to death and hope for the best and leap, and then like. And then, like, dodge and leap.
Looking for my creator.
Not the best form, but something else been working out for me.
So, yeah, it's always just, yeah, definitely Fallen Order. Probably where we played at some point. It's just because I've been having this sort of paralysis of choice things where like, I feel like playing one thing, and then that turns into another one. Like, even though I'm currently playing 76, I'm getting the urge to play Shadow of the Tomb Raider again, and then there's the urge to play Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas for like the billionth time ever.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, I'm feeling all these things.
I'm honestly... Yeah, I actually heard that some of the people felt like that. Like, oh, will be cool to play as Rey in Jedi Fallen Order, and or like the search for salvage. Like, hell, I would love to play as her.
Yeah, I honestly do hope that for the next series game, though, that they end up having the player customization. I at least get that Respawn probably didn't do it for this one because they sort of wanted a set-in-stone canonical character that they could probably tell in future stories.
And plus, I think might be a bit more expensive.
I don't think because really, as long as it's within your scope, it's not more expensive to do one or the other, though. At least not typically. It's like with the silent protagonist. It's not necessarily more expensive to have a silence, to have a voice one versus silence. It just depends really on what you scoped out before the game started. But there can be caveats and exceptions to it, such as the Old Republic, where when it started doing its expansions, in some of them they had to keep the voiced ones at basically the highlight ones, because it was actually becoming very expensive to keep bringing all these different voices in, though. So they started making them the traditional silence ones, except for the, essentially, as I understood it, the highlight ones.
Yeah.
So again, there's always exceptions to it, but no, it's not more expensive for it.
I thought it
just
was.
think, though,
I honestly thought it was.
I did initially too, but thanks to Ask a Game Dev often showing me a lot of this other stuff as well, which is that really things are not more expensive than the other. It just really depends on how exactly you scope out your game, though. So like if you're making a game that has a lot of content in it, as long as it's properly scoped out, it's not going to cost you any more than if you had each piece refined, basically. Just depends on how well you plan it out in advance.
Yeah.
So I think at least that was good for it, though, and so that's why for me the reason I believe that they went with
trilogy was kind of planned out in advance. Like,
hence why. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say that I think the sequel trilogy was planned out for the most part, but Carrie Fisher's death, again, they kind of had to travel through everything because of her passing.
Yeah, because it's very clear that that's what their plan was, though. Episode 7 would be very Han-centered, Episode 8 would have been very Luke-centered, and then 9 would have been Leia's, and then Carrie Fisher passed away in 2017.
2016.
And then
2016,
actually, because again, it was always like very close to the end of the year, so usually I end up thinking it was 2017.
Fair point.
For that. So it's like, yeah, that ended up throwing a wrench.
That's why I'm a lot more
really
sympathetic. With it, and probably Justice League, because you know what happened to Zack Snyder's daughter. Yeah, took her own life.
Yeah. I remembered that. And so even from everything I see, it was clearly planned out, but it was always in the specifics, though, that they were going with it, though. Like, it was still very clear, though, that the ending of Episode 9 was going to culminate in a sort of the galaxy rallies together to fight the giant evil, though. Just maybe who exactly it was going to be against, though, would have been different. Again, it was like how George Lucas always envisioned that a primitive civilization would have destroyed the Empire. He just originally envisioned the Wookiees, but
not the
Ewoks.
I always wonder why he changed his mind to the... Oh, yeah. Why the Ewoks instead of the Wookiees?
Not exactly sure why. I know he explained the reason, but it's not occurring to me right now, though, honestly.
Right. Just...
Please mind the gap as you
And people always complain about, no one at LucasArts knows what they're doing. Hey,
again, things being done, though, for it, though, has always been this way for movies.
I couldn't help but think, you try to be a fucking DM and see how that goes for you.
Again, that's because these people don't really know how movies are made, though, but they are very adamant that they totally know how they're made for it, though. Like, no, not even movies that have sequels have full plans for them. For instance, Green Lantern, the one that ended that with Ryan Reynolds, that was originally going to be a segue to the Justice League movie, and then the movie actually did very poorly, and those plans got scrapped. At best, you only have vague ideas of what you think you're going to do, but then when it starts getting to the actual development of it, you start getting into the details.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing with my crossover series, and that's what I'm planning doing with the campaign.
Heck, even the MCU, which these people think is highly planning all their stuff out, they really don't. When you watch their movies, you can kind of see that there are times when they sort of fiddle over the details with it. It's just only in the broad strokes they know what they're doing.
Oh god, here comes the rain. Do you think it's kind of fun for like the rain just like being closer and closer while we're on the fucking train?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's going the opposite direction. Booking it.
No.
We better book it, man. We better book it.
Yeah, that was not the direction I was anticipating. Ow, yeah, that's always what I always think of this stuff, though. When it's very clear to me watching that it was very clearly planned out with it, and definitely Kathleen Kennedy's rejection of Trevorrow's script definitely shows me that she was also aware of where it was ultimately going and why she threw Trevorrow's script out. Aside from just being a really bad one, it also was clearly showing to me, though, that she knew that, no, that's not how it was going to go. All the evidence points to it clearly being thought out in advance, though, but people just keep forgetting that the details are always where it ends up usually being fuddled over.
Yeah.
Because, again, even with any movie,
Though
you
I
cannot
had to
plan
wonder
out...
Palpatine being in it was there from the get-go.
I get the feeling that was probably something that was more fumbled around and was probably more of J.J. Abrams' version to put in there. But honestly, I still think, again, the broad strokes were more there, and Palpatine was more of this end up going into the specifics.
Got it. Kind of like past Thanos in Endgame. They actually thought about like having President Thanos. Shit. Could you pick me up? I'm SOL. Okay, someone's gonna pick me up. Ooh, fuck.
So yeah, I think I honestly didn't know the part that you just mentioned, but I was thinking it would more or less be something of that sort, though, where it would just basically, be something along the lines of someone being more in the specifics rather than whereas they got the broad strokes down.
Oh.
Because with movies and games and such, you just can't plan out all the details well into oblivion. It's just impossible to do that, at least on a practical level.
Yeah.
If you could plan out all the hyper-specifics of everything that's going to go down way before you actually get to that bridge, you're talking about something that was probably being, like, stuck in development hell.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Oh god. And
again, that's why...
we're SOL.
This is why, even though YouTube is definitely blessed with a whole lot of different stuff, when it came to it, unfortunately ended up having...
I remember when, do you remember, Nash from, like, What the Fuck is Wrong with You? He said that, like, Star-Lord, like, lashing out at Thanos over Gamora was bad because he's not acting like that sort of thing. It's like, you're kidding me. He said that, and it's like, people are not rational. A person may be rational, but do you know
again,
what
it's because these people don't really know movies, even though they very much want to insist, though, that they're experts on it.
Yeah.
It's the very definition of a dilettante.
Hey, what now?
A dilettante refers to someone who is very passionate about something, but is spectacularly ignorant on it. I actually mainly learned this word when it was on from Dragon Ball Super, though, where Frieza refers to effectively his alternate universe counterpart and refers to him as such there. And I'm like, when I listen to people on YouTube, they sound exactly what Frieza described, a dilettante, which is someone who is like, yes,
huh?
So it basically, just to know for future reference, it refers to someone who is very passionate about a subject, but is very ignorant on said subject.
Yes, I'm passionate about, like, for example, passionate about Fallout and Mass Effect, but I'm not ignorant of them. Oof.
I mean, Star Wars is definitely in that because Star Wars is one of my special interests. Hence why I'm never shy to admit that I often know about it, more so than a lot of the people who often say as
how much
fans
do you know of the current expanded universe outside the movies and stuff? Just curious.
When I say by no, I'm not talking about things such as hyper-specific lore stuff and expanded universe stuff, but as far as what the movies were meant to represent, and as well as also what exactly they are, as opposed to a lot of people who seem to, because often, especially The Last Jedi, often gives me the best lens for this, as to show whether they actually
I swear to
understood
you,
it.
people who defended The Last Jedi were lashing out at the Rise of Skywalker. It's like, are you being a hypocrite? Do you learn nothing from this?
That's definitely when it comes to behavior, to hypocrites and behaviors, though. But very frequently, that's why I often find that when I say the defenders often understood it, whereas the detractors didn't, isn't based on whether they immediately liked or disliked the movie. There are still plenty of people I saw who liked the movie.
I just don't understand.
Like,
I remember the trailer sound like, no matter how many times I've been explained about why people act that way towards Star Wars, I'm still flabbergasted about it.
I mean, I'm not someone who immediately is going to begrudge someone having very big reactions to a series that they very much love. It just more, for me, has the thing where I dislike how these people proclaim to love a series so much, but surprisingly don't really understand what that series is, or when they actively act in ways that are contradictory to that
Ryan Johnson
series' morals.
enjoyed and really liked The Rise of Skywalker. shouldn't they take a few moments from him at least? Like, it's like, okay. It happens, and Chris Evans did not like The Last Jedi, but I actually, what does he think of the episode 9? He never talks about
I don't know, because he hasn't. I've never seen him state his personal opinions on it. But for it, though, even though I dislike it, though, I would disagree with his opinions, though. But at the very least, I don't argue that he doesn't know his Star
Yeah, but you said right now you like kind of think Rise Skywalker is okay compared to say the other sequel trilogy movies. Ooh, like a battle pass level up, nice. Sorry, I just got like battle pass level up. Got the battle pass. Did I say I got the battle pass before?
No, I don't think you told me.
Yeah, about $10 for a battle pass. What? Quite a bit of worth it. Yeah, quite. It's worth it. I can't speak English right now. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay, let's see what else is on the list. Man, speaking of like N64 games with Star Wars,
because that's what I mean by it is what I was saying earlier. It's about
Yeah.
often their like or dislike often being a clue to it. Is because even though
and when I saw someone
aside,
someone liking liking The Last Jedi by Disney on the Rise of Skywalker, it's like, oh, you're an asshole. I even told someone that on Twitter. It's like, oh, you're an asshole then. It's like, I don't know. I'm not gonna go out of my way to diss although I have my dislikes of episodes 1 and 2, I'm not just gonna go out of my way to complain about it, except for the midichlorians, because god damn it. Sorry, it's just.
I mean, yeah, it's just that the behaviors of them aside, though. But it's just that very often I always find that when I listen to essays that are often praising The Last Jedi, I seem to always actually, when I listen to them, consistently show understanding of it. Not all of them. There's still plenty of people who like The Last Jedi but still don't understand what Star Wars is as a movie series who regularly show it. Whereas conversely, whenever I consistently listen to people who always proclaim to being disliking
it's because
The
they
Last
feel
Jedi,
The Last Jedi as cinema.
Specifically, though, it's always that when I see these people, they regularly demonstrate never understanding what the series was on this, though.
Yeah,
it
good,
falls into the same
good
problem
versus
that a
evil,
lot of
space,
people-
space opera, space wizards fighting each other.
I'm not the person who's going to go into, oh, it's a stupid, trashy series, though, because again,
It's
that's
not.
why
It's
I
not
go
trashy.
into,
I'm just
you're
like
also
it's a
an
silly
idiot.
series. It's a series that is generally good.
Because again, I don't like going into people who also, because also that's why I also often say
Though,
that,
though I do like to make fun of people for getting worked up over Star Wars. Like, oh, you're getting worked up over a series that's about space wizards for kids. Because seriously,
again, but I don't want to say that because then it starts going into it's a belittle thing as it's trashy stuff though that you shouldn't.
I'm
care
not playing
about,
that.
I'm saying,
not playing
like,
it.
I know you don't mean that, but it's often why I don't like using that framing because then it sort of makes it seem like you shouldn't really have any major one to it. I'm not for that sort of thing though, but it's rather how you act on it though. Not the mere act of feeling it, but rather how you go about it. That is what I have more of an issue with.
Alright, sorry. I just like to.
No,
like
but
to
I
make
can
fun of these
understand
people.
why you get the two mixed up with it because very often one will end up, one often influences the other.
Yeah, very good that I got this Phoenix hit somewhere. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I can understand where you're coming from. Feeling the way you do though.
Yeah, it's because these people are way too attached to these things. Like they're supposed to be fun, fiction. They're not.
I do think you should be able to feel.
Oh my god! I was
good,
saying I'm going
maybe
to say they're
don't
not a
think
religion until I remember. Oh yeah, there's actually a religion, a Star Wars religion in the UK called Jediism. I'm not making it up.
like for. Oh no, I know that is though. I've known about that for years. But it's just a thing of like you can feel super passionate about what it is that's there, but maybe don't take that as meaning, hey, you know what I should do? Harass directors and at filmmakers and actors because it was over a movie I didn't like. It's like, yeah, maybe don't do that.
Oh, and
at
someone's
all.
trying to spear Adam Driver because he served in the military after 9/11. It was like everybody does because everybody was pissed off, and they wanted to do something to make a difference.
And heck, he didn't even act very unique, though, even when he was joining on, though. It wasn't even, he was like, oh my god, I wanted to kill those San N-words, or oh my god, I was really looking forward to killing Muslims. He didn't say any of that. He's like, I wanted to join, I wasn't sure who I wanted to direct that anger to, I just wanted to go and do something after we just had a national tragedy.
Yeah, I was just like,
I mean, it was a very understandable reaction, but he wasn't particularly cruel of it, and he still set up organizations to help people, specifically those in the military, to be able to go into the arts.
And I was like, yeah, cancel culture. I say cancel culture is this thing. It's kind of a mixed bag. It's like,
I dislike the phrasing of it, but
Yeah.
at the very least, I get where it's going for with it.
trust me, there are some people that deserve it, like Harvey Weinstein, or I'd like to say
Of course, when it comes to-
Weinstein. You get it? Whining.
Of course. When it comes to people like Weinstein, or when it's the Vic Mignognas of the world, trust me, they're the people who I have no problem with going and getting, basically being pointed to, get the fuck out, though,
Yeah.
and making sure they don't have careers.
Kevin's-
They're not people I'm concerned for.
And Kevin Spacey, because right after the allegations came out for him, it was like, yeah, I'm gay.
Yeah, he tried to pull that shit when it's like, yeah, hell no.
Bad timing. If you mean it, that's some seriously fucked up timing you got there.
Hit the jets. We're dropping hot.
I know, that I was still shocked when I saw that he thought he could pull that shit right on there. Like, seriously,
Let's go this
dude?
way. Never mind.
Yeah.
Alright, this will probably be the last game for the night for me.
All right, sure. It's been great, and it's been
Yeah, not yet, though, so just play whatever we can. Damn it, so close!
Oof. These
That was just a little bit short.
a couple things. Are you still getting that laptop or something? Just wondering.
Still have to go on there, but honestly, a lot of things I was planning on buying are going on indefinite hold because any money I do make has to just be saving for however long I have to wait out this crisis.
Oh yeah, it's a hell of a crisis. But not a crisis on Infinite Earths. Wait.
But yeah, that's what I'm having to do.
There was a
while I can
surprise-
afford to make small purchases, I can't afford to make any super big ones.
Yeah.
That would be compromising, like a large laptop, or especially my initial plans of getting a new car, which now are on indefinite hold.
Oh, speaking of crisis on Infinite Earths, the show version of that on like the Arrowverse. One of the most surprising things was the appearance of the movie version of The Flash, like as a cameo.
Which now feels really awkward after that Ezra Miller clip, so now there's that sort of mixed feeling with it.
Yeah, what the fuck was he on when he decided to like choke the shit out of her? It's like, seriously, she was messing around, and and my things, I honestly do not know what the fuck happened. Did things just like escalate quickly, and he might not want to lay down for a while?
Reloading.
If you get the
I have
reference,
not the faintest clue what's going on.
yeah.
there.
If you get the
And
reference,
surprisingly,
if you get the reference, kudos.
it's just like, honestly, from all those though, like there's a part of me that wants to wish that there's like maybe there's like something I'm not understanding with this, but I have a hard time doing so when I'm witnessing him straight up assaulting her from this though. Even if it was a case of him just being super drunk, it still wouldn't fly with me.
Yeah, there's just... Honestly, I wonder if they're gonna replace him.
Who even knows though?
Or is that Flash movie still going around?
No kill leader.
No, it's still being made. Warner Brothers officially confirmed that it still was.
So that it's also still gonna be made. It's just like
Yes.
I've heard that movie has been delayed just as many times as like say the New Mutants.
Probably not as much as that one, because the New Mutants has a lot of history, whereas the Flash movie, it just keeps being pushed all about, though, mainly because since Justice League was definitely less than stellar, because it actually could be considered a bomb for it,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
they're trying to now...
Yeah, unlike the Rise of Skywalker, it did the Justice League movie did worse. Holy crap, it did
The
worse.
Justice League movie ended up falling way short of the $1 billion it needed. For it to have been considered the break-even point, it would have had to have grossed $750 million. It only grossed, I think it was like $660 million.
Marking our surroundings.
660 million. Wow.
Like, it was very well short of the $1 billion that it would have got needed.
Yeah, I'm not.
To turn
Yeah.
what was
I
regular
am not surprised
expectations.
by the Rise of Skywalker making nearly 110 million. Not 100. I mean,
Making $1 billion.
$1 billion,
which was
$1 billion,
well within
and $100 million.
expectations.
It made $1 billion and $70 billion dollars.
Close to 1.1 billion,
Yeah.
which was about what they were expecting. They were expecting somewhere between 1 billion to 1.2 billion, and it ended up making that. Again, people point out that it wasn't making as much as The Force Awakens, who consistently leave out the very large elephant in the room, which was it was the first Star Wars movie to come out in a time when people thought Star Wars movies being made again was pretty much a pipe dream.
And compare that to the original trilogy.
Again, it's much like why Avengers Endgame made as much as it did, because this was the conclusion and was going to be the last time we would see many of these actors, specifically Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans as their respective characters. So it's like, oh shit, this is the last movie we're going to see of these guys? Shit, I should go see
It's
this
a
movie.
bigger event than even Star Wars. That is. Oh, ow, 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 ow. And
Yeah, that's why it ends up why those ones go in though. Or say Black Widow was obviously not going to be doing Avengers Endgame numbers because it was just a regular prequel film.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's why people have to understand when you have movies that are very big. Sure, there are ones that just do massive business though, which perplexes people, like Avatar, which despite being a non-franchise film, still managed to do
How
way better
did that
than
make so much
actual
money?
franchises.
I'm still trying to
I get
come.
the feeling it was also taking advantage of 3D when it was coming back in style, as well as some other things, but still very impressive for a non-franchise film. Even
Yeah.
though I don't care for it, I do consider it impressive.
Yeah, I saw it. I wasn't quite blown away. I just like it was a little hooky. I was much more conservative at the time. I was like, that seems a little hooky, and I still think it is.
It's just I got what Cameron was going for with it, but I just don't think it really clicked with me.
Yeah. Neither do I. Oh, the one who's playing out as Wraith, they better hurry. So have you played
No,
more
that's-
of Fallout 76, by the way? Like, caught up to where I am at, so you wouldn't get shot by random raiders?
I have been catching up on it though, but I'm going to be doing more of that tomorrow because now I've actually had time for it since my classes are effectively concluded. Some extra assignments I
Yeah,
have
do you want to do more of Fallout 76 in the stream?
Yeah, we'll do that one. I just wanted for Apex because so that we can properly talk as opposed to more of only having very brief talks here and there because I want to get the Hitvic stuff and a whole bunch of other things
Yeah.
just to talk about.
God,
again,
I'm so glad Fallout 76 did well with the Wastelanders. Wastelanders.
Definitely. And Daryl, it's just because I liked having stuff to talk about, though, because admittedly, the Kid Vic stuff just honestly feels very funny, though, as much as it can be irritating. But it feels more funny as I go,
It's
as this thing drags on.
like a train crash you can't look away from, and somehow it's full of clowns that go. Oh!
I compare this more of like to monkeys flinging shit at each other. Like, it's just so funny that you just honestly can't look away. It's kind of disgusting in its own way, but at the same time, it's very funny, at least also when it's not... when it's to the detriment of Vic himself.
Yeah, I just and I kind of feel the same thing about these protesters complaining about the stay-at-home orders. Like they got many of them got
It's
sick.
a case of where, it's a case for me of where I can sympathize with what they are angry about, but their actions are fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's why I just had a hard time sympathizing because seriously, they're endangering people's lives.
That's why I always sympathize with the intentions, not the actual people.
and they got in the way of doctors and hospitals. It's just like they got in the way
Like, I
of
still... Oh,
The
sorry.
next ring is not close.
I am so. And it's like, well, if they die from it and they don't end up affecting others, it's their funeral, literally. I'm sorry. It's just. It's just like I'm just one of those. I am so done with these shitheads.
Definitely.
And I know that Boomer Doomer is bad, and so it's this really racist thing. I'm not gonna say it because, god damn, it's bad. I won't go that far, but I will do a bit of shorter Freud, poke fun at the dumbasses who go to beaches.
Yeah, that's what's happening in Florida right now.
How many people? How many people got infected? How many people?
This way.
I'm sorry. It's wow. Jesus Christ. Why? Why would some of these governors would insist on reopening the economy? What do they have to...
I mean, I can get in theory why they're doing so, because yes, a lot of people are going out of work, and especially because not everyone has been able to successfully get unemployment benefits, so a lot of people are really in the shitter right now. So I can understand, at least though, again, in theory, why there are people wanting to do so.
Yeah,
because
my
now
dad
with a lot
had
of
just had to lack the tact to bring up like, suicide and domestic abuse rates are skyrocketing. It's like bullshit.
There's that too. I have a friend I know who's
bullshit of him to like of all people to bring that up when it's convenient.
Like, that's what I actually am having with a friend right now, where her dad is being very emotionally abusive right now during this whole thing as well.
Oh, I really am sorry.
So hence
Yeah,
why
I was
like,
just really
in
angry at my
theory-
dad because he can be such a dumbass.
So that's why I say I can at least understand where it's coming from on those, because a lot of people are out of work. A lot of people are justifiably freaking out as to like where the next paycheck for their mortgage, how they're going to pay for grocery. If they have kids, how are they going to make sure that they're properly fed and such? Like, those are very legitimate concerns for a lot of people.
Yeah, would it be more productive for them to like advocate for like having like payments to cover up any missing expenses for this, rather than just like protesting the stay-at-home orders? That would be smarter to do. Not complain about the stay-at-home thing, because there's no way that the virus will go away. Go away anytime soon. As much as I would like it, but no. Sometimes we just have to do whatever it takes, but yeah. Even I'm pretty sure like closing the borders for 6 days, it's not good.
So that's why, like, for me, as for what the solution is for these things, I'm like, I don't know what the solution is. People way smarter than me are going to have to come up with those conclusions, because I certainly, this stuff is, like, way above me, though. I don't have the intelligence.
Yeah,
maybe that's not the best word, but,
I
like,
have a vague
I don't
idea
have-
what to do, like, such as, you know, test, open up, like, you know, do testing. Give supplies to those that really need it, to, like, states that are hotspots for it, like New York.
So that's why for me, though, it's just a case of, like, it's the case where I can strongly sympathize, and I honestly wish I had the answers as to, like, what would be the right thing for this, but I don't.
And for fuck's sake, listen to CDC.
Yes, definitely. All right, I'm going to call it a night for that one.
Yeah,
so.
I'm going to see anyone if there's anyone still up. I'd like to say have a good night, everybody, and well,
We'll
stay
see you
safe, everybody.
next
Stay
time
safe,
when we
stay
can
healthy,
there.
and do your best to be kind.
So, Nord, you let me know when you're up for a Fallout 76 stream, because now that my classes are effectively concluded, I'm pretty much available all hours now.
All right, I'll let you know. Okay, see you later. Good night.
Definitely. See you later. Bye.